The person who reacts is a slave. The person who remains still is a god. You are currently a slave to every stimulus that enters your environment. A sharp word from a superior makes your heart rate spike. An unanswered text message triggers a spiral of self-doubt. A social slight makes you feel the desperate need to defend your honor. You think this makes you human. You think this makes you authentic. In reality, it makes you a resource. You are a biological machine that provides predictable outputs for anyone who knows which buttons to press. Here is the brutal truth. Most people do not respect you because they can see exactly where you end and where the world begins. They can see your boundaries because you vibrate with anxiety the moment they are touched. You are loud, you are expressive, and you are transparent. And because you are transparent, you are disposable. Society tells you that vulnerability is a strength. This is a lie designed to keep the hierarchy stable. Vulnerability is the act of handing your opponent the blueprint to your destruction. True power lies in the void. True dominance is found in the silence that follows a provocation. When you become so calm that you unsettle the room, you are no longer a participant in the social game. You are the architect of it. This is not a guide on how to be happy. This is not a path toward inner peace. This is the process of becoming a ghost in the machine, a sovereign entity that cannot be moved, cannot be read, and cannot be controlled. This knowledge has a cost. Once you see the world through the lens of emotional detachment, you can never go back to the warmth of the herd. You will be alone, but you will be free. If you are willing to pay that price, let us begin. Phase 1. The death of the explainer. The moment you feel the need to explain yourself, you have already lost. We live in an age of constant justification. People over-explain their mistakes, their intentions, and their lives because they are terrified of being misunderstood. They believe that if they can just provide enough context, they can control how they are perceived. This is the ultimate trap. When you explain yourself, you are subconsciously asking for permission to exist. You are placing your value in the hands of the listener and waiting for them to validate it. A sovereign does not explain. A sovereign declares, or better yet, remains silent. Think of the hierarchy of a courtroom. The defendant speaks the most. They provide alibis, excuses, and emotional pleas. The judge speaks the least. The judge's power is contained in the economy of their words. When they do speak, it is an observation or a verdict. They do not care if the defendant understands the why behind the ruling. The ruling simply is. Most people fail because they suffer from the itch of the ego. When someone insults you or questions your competence, your ego demands that you correct the record. You feel a physical pressure in your chest to speak, to argue, to prove your worth. This is your biological noise. It is the sound of a pawn trying to convince the board that it is actually a queen. To become unsettlingly calm, you must kill the explainer within you. When someone asks you a question designed to put you on the defensive, give them nothing but the answer or a silence so long it forces them to look away. If you are late, do not offer a frantic list of reasons involving traffic or alarms. Simply state that you are here now. If you are criticized, do not defend. Observe the criticism as if it were a weather report, dispassionate, objective, and ultimately irrelevant to your internal state. The person who does not explain is a mystery, and in the absence of information, people project their fears onto you. They begin to wonder why you aren't sweating. They begin to wonder what you know that they don't. This is where the power shift begins. You are no longer the one being interrogated. You are the one who is unreadable. Phase 2. The architecture of the void power is not about what you do. It is about the space you leave between what is done to you and how you respond. Most people have a zero latency response. Stimulus leads to reaction. This is the behavior of prey. A rabbit bolts the moment it hears a rustle in the grass. It does not think, it reacts. If you want to become a predator in the social hierarchy, you must develop the predator's pause. This is the architecture of the void. When a stimulus hits you, whether it's an insult, a crisis, or a sudden change in fortune, you must create a vacuum. Instead of reacting in milliseconds, you wait. You count the seconds. You watch the other person's face as they wait for your reaction. Most people cannot handle silence. It feels like an abyss. They will try to fill it with nervous laughter, more talking, or further aggression. Let them. The longer you remain in the void, the more power they leak. You are effectively letting them shadowbox against a ghost. They are throwing punches, and you aren't even in the ring. This is the paradox of control. The less you do, the more control you have. Machiavelli understood that the prince who is moved by his emotions is a prince who can be easily toppled. A calm exterior is not a mask, it is a shield. If they cannot see your pulse, they cannot know your fear. If they cannot hear your breath, they cannot know your exhaustion. You must treat your internal world as a fortress. The gates are closed. The walls are high. The world outside can scream. It can throw fire. It can plead for entry. But nothing passes through those gates unless you allow it. This is not suppressing emotions. Suppression is a struggle. This is observation. You see the emotion rise, you acknowledge its presence, and you let it dissolve into the void without ever giving it the satisfaction of a physical manifestation. Phase 3. The sovereign gaze and the stillness of the body. You are leaking power through your skin. Every time you fidget, every time you shift your weight, every time you glance around the room to see if people are watching you, you are signaling your submission. These are low status cues. They are the micro-movements of an animal that is looking for an exit. They tell the world that you are uncomfortable in your own space. To unsettle others with your calm, you must master the art of the physical freeze. In nature, the apex predator is the one that can remain perfectly still for the longest period. The lion does not pace nervously. The crocodile does not fidget. They are comfortable in their lethality. They move only when it is time to strike. When you are in a high-stakes environment, look at your hands. Are they moving? Stop them. Look at your feet. Are they tapping? Still them. Your body should be a statue, and your eye should be the only thing that moves. This is the sovereign gaze. It is a look that does not seek approval, does not show aggression, and does not look away. It is the look of someone who is measuring a specimen. Here is the secret to the gaze. Do not look at people. Look through them. Treat the person speaking to you as a data point, not a human being. When they finish speaking, do not immediately reply. Maintain the gaze for 3 seconds longer than is socially comfortable. In those 3 seconds, the social contract breaks. The other person realizes that the old rules do not apply to you. They realize that they cannot use their charm, their anger, or their status to move you. You are the immovable object. And when people encounter an immovable object, their first instinct is fear. They begin to feel small. They begin to feel that their words are failing them. This is where power actually lives. It lives in the discomfort of others who are trying to find your frequency and finding only static. You are not on their channel. You are not playing their game. You are the void they are staring into. Phase 4. The moral inversion of kindness. The world tells you to be nice. Society rewards the agreeable. But look at the people who are praised for being nice. Are they the ones in control? Or are they the ones who are overworked, overlooked, and used as footstools for those who understand the mechanics of power? Nice is often a synonym for predictable. If you are nice, I know exactly how you will react when I ask for a favor. I know you will say yes because you fear the conflict of saying no. I know you will smile even when you are insulted because you are terrified of being perceived as difficult. To become truly calm, you must abandon the need to be liked. The need to be liked is a chain. Every person whose approval you seek is a master you have chosen to serve. The sovereign is not mean, but they are also not nice. They are indifferent. Indifference is far more terrifying than malice. If someone hates you, they are still emotionally invested in you. You still have a grip on their mind. But if you are indifferent, they do not exist to you. This is the part most people miss. Your calm should feel like a cold front. It should be like the air in a room just dropped 10 degrees. People should feel that if they walked out of your life tomorrow, you wouldn't even blink. Not because you are cruel, but because your internal landscape is so vast and self-sufficient that no single person is required for its completion. This is the ultimate leverage. The person who needs nothing from the room is the only person who can truly control the room. When you stop caring about the outcome of a social interaction, you become the most dangerous person in it. You are willing to walk away. You are willing to stay silent. You are willing to let the bridge burn if the cost of the toll is your sovereignty. Now go deeper. Phase 5, the weaponization of the slow response speed, is the language of the panicked. Observe the low-level employee when their boss enters the room. They move faster, they talk faster, they try to appear productive through a flurry of chaotic motion. They believe speed equals value. It does not. Speed equals anxiety. The sovereign moves at a different tempo. When someone calls your name, do not snap your head toward them like a dog expecting a treat. Turn slowly, count to 1, then acknowledge them. When someone asks you a question that requires a complex answer, do not rush to fill the air. Let the silence hang until it becomes heavy. This is the weaponization of the slow response. By controlling the tempo of the interaction, you are forcing the other person to enter your timeline. You are telling their subconscious that your internal world is more stable and more important than their external demands. Most people are terrified of being perceived as slow or unintelligent. Because of this fear, they speak before they think. They commit to things they don't want to do, and they reveal information they should have kept hidden. They are victims of their own momentum. Here is where it flips. When you intentionally slow down, you signal that you are the one with the most to lose, and therefore the one with the most power. Think of the high-stakes negotiator. They do not rush. They know that the person who is in a hurry is the person who will make concessions. If you want to unsettle a room, become the eye of the storm. While everyone else is vibrating with the frantic energy of the modern world, you remain glacial. Your movements are deliberate. Your speech is measured. You are not slow. You are precise. And precision is terrifying to those who live in chaos. Phase 6, the alchemy of discipline. Most people believe discipline is about doing things you hate. They think it's about waking up at 4 a.m. or taking cold showers to build character. This is the perspective of a servant. For the sovereign, discipline is not a chore. It is the process of removing every handle that the world can use to pull you. Every vice you have, whether it is a need for social media validation, a craving for comfort, or a lack of control over your sexual impulses, is a leash. If I know what you crave, I can control you. If I know what you fear, I can move you. The unsettlingly calm man is calm because he has no handles. He has pruned his desires until there is nothing left for a manipulator to grab. When you lack the need for anything from anyone, you become enigma. This is why you feel stuck. You are trying to find inner peace while still being addicted to the world's rewards. You want to be calm, but you still want the promotion. You want to be sovereign, but you still want her to text you back. You are divided. True discipline is the act of becoming a closed loop. You provide your own validation. You set your own standards. You judge your own progress. When the external world tries to bribe you with praise or threaten you with isolation, it finds no purchase. You are like a mountain. The wind can blow as hard as it likes, but the mountain does not negotiate with the wind. This is not self-improvement. This is the systematic removal of your vulnerabilities. It is the transition from a porous vessel to a solid blade. Phase 7, the presence of the ghost. There is a specific kind of power in being gone while still standing in the room. Most people are needy in their presence. They lean in. They use active listening cues. They nod excessively. They try so hard to be present that they end up looking desperate. They are begging for the other person to acknowledge their existence. The sovereign practices the art of the ghost. You are physically there, but your spirit is miles away, observing from a height. You are detached from the drama of the moment. Imagine a heated argument in an office. People are shouting. Egos are bruising. Everyone is deeply in the moment. Then there is you. You are leaning back. Your face is a blank slate. You are watching the shouting matches not as a participant, but as a biologist watching ants fight over a crumb. This detachment is a superpower. It allows you to see the patterns that others are too emotional to notice. You see who is insecure. You see who is lying. You see who is the real power in the room and who is just a loud puppet. When you are a ghost, you cannot be hurt. You cannot be insulted. How do you insult a shadow? How do you wound the air? The moment you stop taking the world personally is the moment you become invincible. But here's the paradox. The more you withdraw your spirit, the more people are drawn to you. They are fascinated by your lack of need. They will work harder to get a reaction out of you than they will for someone who gives it away for free. Your silence becomes a mirror in which they see their own insecurities reflected. And that, more than anything, is what unsettles them. Phase 8. Turning conflict into observation. This is the part most people miss. They think that being calm means avoiding conflict. It does not. Being calm means engaging in conflict without the heat. When someone attacks you, their goal is to provoke an emotional response. They want you to get angry, to get defensive, or to get hurt. These are all hot reactions. They provide the attacker with the energy they need to keep going. You will do the opposite. You will provide cold feedback. If someone insults you, do not insult them back. Instead, ask a clarifying question in a flat, clinical tone. What specifically about my performance led you to that conclusion? By doing this, you have fundamentally changed the nature of the interaction. You have moved from a fight, which they were prepared for, to an audit, which they are not. You are forcing them to justify their irrationality with logic. Since their attack was born of emotion, they will fail, they will stumble, they will look foolish, and you remain the investigator. You are not the victim. You are the one performing the autopsy on their bad behavior. This is the highest form of dominance. It is the ability to maintain your internal frequency regardless of the noise surrounding you. It is the realization that no one can make you feel anything without your subconscious consent. And a sovereign never consents to being moved by an inferior. The version of you that started watching this is already dead. If you have understood these laws, you can no longer return to the world of the reactive. You can no longer find comfort in the frantic explanations, the desperate niceness, or the biological noise of the herd. You have seen the hidden operating system of power, and your old identity, the one that cared about being understood and liked, is now obsolete. Most people will watch this and feel a flicker of recognition, but they will fail to implement it. They will fail because they are still in love with their own chains. They find a perverse comfort in their own weakness. They like being the good person who gets taken advantage of because it gives them a sense of moral superiority. You are not most people. You understand that morality is a luxury for those who already have power. You understand that goodness, without the capacity for lethality, is not virtue. It is simply cowardice. To be truly calm, you must know that you could be dangerous if you chose to be, but you choose the stillness instead. You are no longer a pawn on the board. You are the hand that moves it, or the ghost that ignores it entirely. You are different from the masses who live and die by the opinions of strangers. You are a sovereign entity. If you are ready to commit to this path, if you are willing to let the old weak version of yourself wither away in the silence, then acknowledge your alignment. Type Savarai Gen in the comments, not as a message to me, but as a contract with yourself. It is a signal that you are choosing the void over the noise, and the chill of power over the warmth of the herd. Do not subscribe for motivation. Do not subscribe for tips. Subscribe only if you are prepared to reconstruct your reality from the ground up. This is not a community. This is a guild of the silent. The world is loud. Be the silence that makes them tremble. Stay cold. Stay sovereign.